Alright guys, how you doing? It's Rabea. Hope everyone's good. So for this video, I thought I'd show you guys 3 easy to play blues licks to get you started. A few people have asked me to do some tutorials on playing, and I figured why not start with something like blues. So we're doing 3 licks, they're all in the D minor, and they're all in the D minor pentatonic position 1. If you're not familiar with that shape, let me show you it. So you want to be starting on your low E string, 10th fret. And I'm going to call out the string and then the fret position so that you can just move up and down this position on your own at home. So low E string, 10, 13. A string, 10, 12. D string, 10, 12. G string, 10, 12. B string, 10, 13. E string, the high string, 10, 13. And back down. So there's your first position of D minor pentatonic. Now these are blues licks, so you might be asking yourself, well, why are you not doing the blues scale? The truth is that these blues licks are actually closer in terms of the notes to the pentatonic position 1, so I figured it's easy to show you that and it makes more sense. It's a good reference point. Anyway, first lick, here we go. Okay, I did it a few different times so that you can hear the application in context, but essentially it's a very easy lick. All it incorporates is a bit of picking, a bit of pull-offs, and a little bit of bending. So to start this lick, you need to be placing your index finger on the 10th fret high E string. Next, we're going to be doing an upstroke on the B string 13th fret with your little finger or ring finger, whichever's more comfortable for you, and then you want to pull off down to the 10th fret B string, like this. Notice how I do my downstroke on the first note, upstroke on the second note, and then I pull off on the third note, like this. If that feels easy to do, then you're already pretty much there with this lick. The next thing you want to do is bend the G string 12th fret with your ring finger up a whole tone. And then back down and then finish the lick by either playing 10th fret G string down to 12th fret D, like this. It's up to you, but this is how the lick sounds all together. Again, the cool thing about this lick is you can mix in different phrasing afterwards, or by the end of the lick when you've done the bend, you can add a little bit more there if you want to. There are different ways to articulate it, but the idea is that this lick is a bluesy sounding lick and it gets you started into the style, and more importantly it allows you to connect different licks and phrases quite easily. So there you go, that's lick number 1. For the second lick, this is a little bit happier sounding. This is what it sounds like. So there's the second lick. Sounds pretty bluesy again. It's quite a nice lick to play as well. So the first thing you want to do is bar the B and E string on the 10th fret with your index finger, and then you want to hammer on to the 12th fret of the B string using your ring finger, like this. So the first part of the lick, you just go like this. So all we're really doing is hammering on to the 12th fret with the B string, and then we're picking B and E on the 10th fret again. So the next part, you want to be playing the G string 12th fret with your ring finger, but you want to still sound the B and E string that you've barred with your index finger on the 10th fret, like this. Really all I'm sounding out there is the B string. You don't really hear the E string, but it's just a little bit more comfortable just to leave your finger where it is and just play that G string 12th fret. And the next part is to bar the G, B and E string on the 10th fret and then we just hammer on with our middle finger onto the 11th fret like this. So you should have this all together so far. So that part of the lick is really nice. It's very harmonic sounding because you're playing more than one note. It's just got a really nice vibe to it. And then the next part of the lick is essentially just descending down the first position of the D minor pentatonic. So what I'm doing there is I'm doing 12-10 on the D string, 12-10 on the A string, and then sliding down to the 8th fret A string. So you might want to add a little microtonal bend in there just to sort of revisit that major sound. So the whole lick should sound like this. There are different ways to pick the last part of the lick. Essentially, you can pick each note if you want. You can just do pull-offs and pick the first note like this. Or you can do a more sort of common blues technique, which is where you rake the strings back. And that's a little bit more difficult, and it'll sound quite messy for a while if you're learning this technique. But essentially, you can do the same thing after you've played those nice bluesy chords. So there are different ways to pick it, but the idea is that you go with what's most comfortable. The main thing to focus on here is the lick and the way it sounds. So there you go. There's lick number 2, nice and bluesy sounding. Lick number 3 is really, really nice, and it's more about the articulation of the lick. The way you play it is what makes it sound bluesy. So it's really simple. We want to be bending up from the 12th fret G string a whole tone. When we do that, then we play 10th fret B, then E. So it's worth pointing out here that when you do this, you want to be down picking on that bend, down picking the B string, and then maybe up picking that top E string. The reason is so that you can repeat it if you wanted to, like I just did. You can play down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up. So, which is quite a popular lick. That isn't a lick. Anyway, once you've done that, we then want to go back to that B string 10th fret. So and the reason I'm kind of staggering it like that is because it's stylistically the sound I'm going for. The next bit of the lick, we're going to be pulling off from the 13th fret top E string and then pulling off down to that 10th fret with a bit of vibrato. That's quite hard to do. At first you might find that difficult, but the more you do it, the easier it gets. So the lick together is like this. Sometimes it's nice to then pick that same 10th fret E string again just to reiterate what you've just done. It sort of ends the phrase nicely. And the idea is that you should be able to connect all these licks together, so I could play them in different orders back to back. So there you go. That's all the licks back to back in different orders, and it's just, they're nice because you can connect them all together in and amongst the other stuff that you might be playing. They just touch more on that blues style, particularly when you're playing a guitar like this, or a Fender Strat or a single coil guitar, and you throw in those little bits of articulation, you know, digging in a bit harder with your pick, adding the vibrato, and just the way that you stick on certain notes or pick again certain notes really just lends itself to the style. So there you go, there's 3 easy blues licks to get you started. If there's any other types of licks or lessons that you want to hear or see, then please just put it in the comment section below. Like and subscribe. Cheers guys, see you soon.